We're gonna go over Sam Mattis' 68-69 PR, and we're gonna start right now. Okay, so Sam is an NCAA champion. He got 8th at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, made the Olympic final. He's been on the senior world team in 2019. He was a senior national champ in 2019. So he's been top 12 in the world. He's been top 8 at the Olympics. He is one of the best competitors, I believe, on the international stage. Now, one thing that people have been holding over his head, and probably more so my head, is that Sam hasn't PR'd in a while. He hasn't PR'd in 6 years. He peaks really well, he competes really well, but he hasn't had that 68, 69 meter bomb. And that's where this comes into play, is that we went to Tucson this past weekend, we just got back yesterday, and Sam put on, from everyone that I've talked to, this is arguably the best American discus series in 30 plus years. So we're gonna go over what can Sam do to improve his technique to drop a 69 meter throw and start to knock on the door of 70 meters. So let's check it out. All right, let's watch this again. Normal speed. Okay, so a couple of big things I'm going to point out that Sam and I have been working on over the last year, really, and it's been like the last 5 months, is really trying to think about, with his movement, being as balanced as possible, being as level as possible. So as he's coming out of the back of the circle, sort of having a good level shoulder position, and even trying to stay a little bit more level even in his wind. Sometimes he has this tendency in his wind to really collapse here and dump that chest really forward. He's not too bad at this point. He loves that super dynamic wind, right? He's not too bad there, but as he opens, okay, so as he opens here, he starts to drop that hand just a little bit. So what I've seen and what Sam's felt is that as he drops that hand, what tends to happen is he'll drop this hand, he picks up his right foot early instead of staying in double support longer out of the back. And what ends up happening is he sort of falls in with that left knee, with that left hip, and his right leg is not as active around his left side. And so that's a pretty substantial tendency, because it leads to a little bit of a late left and a fake sweep to the center. So one of the keys I see here is, you know, he's not bad here in double support, but if this left hand could be just a little bit more level as he opens, ideally at this point, his right would still be down. And so that's gonna get the left side moving a little bit better. And then with a better right leg sweep, the left leg will move quicker, okay? So the first key that I'm gonna say there is that we gotta try and get a little more level out of the back. Now, right here is where I would like to see Sam's knee stop. Basically right there. I think he sort of falls in a little bit even here, deeper than normal, maybe a little too deep. And also Sam's style, everybody brings this up. Sam's got that style with his head and with the discus carrying out of the back. I think this is just, you know, this is his tendency, and that's okay. But one thing, the next thing we're going to talk about is when he sweeps, okay? So let's just watch the knee. Watch that left knee. See how his left knee sort of opens to here? I have the arrow right there, the first arrow right here. That's where I would like to see that left knee stop. Okay, his left knee opens a little more, and then as his right cuts in, he's laid off the left. You can sort of see that left leg's hanging here. You know, some of the guys that we have, if you watch Alex Rose throw, if you watch Legend Hayes throw, Josh Sarachin, when these guys are moving, even Noah, Kennedy White does this well. When that left leg from Noah grounds, the right's moving past it. When Alex grounds his right, the left leg is moving past it. And I think that that's a really good aspect of what that non-dominant leg can be doing. You know, Nick Arrhenius does this really well, where the left leg's passing the right when the right grounds. So Sam's right grounds sort of like right here, and his left leg's still back. Now, I think that relates back to this point right here, okay? So if he can hold that left knee there and sweep with a toe up, okay? I want his toe to be more dorsiflexed. I think when his right leg's a little bit longer and it's dorsiflexed, he tends to cut the right leg, and he feels that a little more in his adductor and his groin, and then that gets his left foot moving quicker. And when he's late off of his left foot, so when he's a little bit late off his left foot, we see that left foot get a little bit higher. Okay, so it just gets a little bit higher. Not that it's terrible. You know, I like that in line with his knee joint there. Maybe it's a little bit, I would like it slight bit lower to get it down quicker. And so if you see here, he's almost grounded there. I would probably argue he would be grounded at that point. He's in a good position, sort of at like this 180 point here, right? I want to go back to the middle and check something out. He's decently stacked over his right, but this goes back to the back. All of the issues with Sam go back to the back. He is slightly leaning past his right foot. Okay, so now his left comes down right here, and then we can see how he rotates through, and the discus just comes out of his hand, just barely, you can see just barely up off that left foot, just barely up off that left. That's patience right there, that's good. Right knee, right hip, right shoulder, all the way forward. Now let's put right here. That's where we want to see him reverse to. So he reverses really well. Okay, so he reverses forward. His energy is transferring forward well. You can still see though, his hips are over here. And then as he gains balance, especially right here, you can see. So this is caused by what's happening in the back. He has a slight fall off, and you can see here as he regroups. A very, very slight fall off on that finish. It's not bad. It's not as bad as it was last year at the Olympic trials or at the Olympics. We've cleaned that up quite a bit. But there's still a margin of error in there. There's still room for improvement. And I think that that's the interesting part now that I'm starting to see. And with Sam's mental ability, he's one of the hardest working people as far as like fine tuning things, doing his mobility. And I believe he's one of the best competitors in the world with his, you know, if he's in a good situation physically, he's going to compete really well. So the big thing I want to just say, the big takeaways for Sam to really grow off the 68-69, which is the 16th furthest throw of all time, number 4 in the world right now. A little bit higher left arm out of the back as he opens. That'll help him stay in double support a little bit more. That's going to help his left leg open a little bit further before pickup. If his left leg opens further before pickup, then we're going to hold that left knee a little bit longer or a little bit earlier right there. Then I want to see more dorsiflexor toe up. I want more toe on the sweep. More toe on the sweep, and then that's going to help us have a faster left leg to the front and a more balanced position, which ideally gives him that 1.31 m, knocking on that 70-meter door. So if you want to be the next Sam Mattis, you want to increase your throws and drop monster PRs, and you want to get a little bit stronger in the weight room, click on the link down below in the description. Head over to throwsuniversity.com and pick up any of our specialty or custom programs to help you become a champion. Till next time, peace.